pretty much my whole life, I really struggled with anxiety and confidence, like really struggled. But if you pretty much ask anybody in my life, none of them would guess it. And I mean, friends, closest family, no one would ever know or would have known, sorry. And that's because I was one hell of an actor, man. I smiled, I laughed, I made jokes a lot, but inside I always felt like locking myself in a wardrobe and never coming out. And one time, I remember vividly, I was out with a few of the boys at some house and surrounded by some people that I considered friends. And I remember feeling it. My chest started tightening, my heart started pounding. I thought I was literally having a heart attack. You know, my palms were sweaty, my head was spinning, my vision was becoming blurry, but because I was so determined to keep this macho, masculine image, because the way I grew up, showing weakness felt like the end of the world. Showing weakness meant that I was a bitch. So instead, I slowly stood up, calmly said yo to everyone, said bye, and then I walked out the door. Kept it together until I got to the car and I couldn't do that anymore. I was gasping for air, I was desperately trying to catch my breath, I was panicking even more because I didn't know what the hell was going on with me. Then like we all do when something bad happens, we start Googling symptoms, and I was terrified, you know, all that bad stuff. And then I came across what I figured it was, and I was having a panic attack. And that night, when I was sitting alone in my car, probably at 9 p.m. at night, was the first time I truly had to face myself, because I couldn't ignore what I was suppressing for so long anymore, because my body was literally telling me enough is enough. My mind was denying it for years, but now this feeling I felt mentally, internally, was now becoming physical. It was real. It was undeniable. That anxiety, that constant worry about what people thought of me was eating me alive. And in that moment, I finally understood something that I needed to change. Now listen closely. Change like this, big change, does not happen overnight. Because unfortunately, there's no magic pill, there's no quick fix, there's no motivational speech that's going to instantly transform you into a fearless, confident superhero. But the good news is you don't have to change overnight. You just have to commit to showing up day after day, step after step, even when it's uncomfortable, even when you're terrified, even when your hands shake and your voice cracks, because that's exactly how it was for me. I started small. I had little conversations I didn't want to have, but I forced myself anyway. I had small, tiny, incremental moments of bravery, saying yes when I wanted to say no, forcing myself to be seen even though my anxiety screamed at me to hide. And slowly but surely, invisibly at times, things started to shift. Every day I chipped away at the fear, the anxiety, the insecurity. Every day I reminded myself of the person that I wanted to become, and bit by bit, moment by moment, I started becoming him. And the mad thing is, when the real change happened, I didn't even notice. There was no eureka moment, no dramatic realization, no instant where I shouted, "Mom, I made it." Instead, one day I just realized I didn't feel that sense of anxiety anymore. I didn't feel that constant dread of what people might think. I didn't feel that crippling self-doubt I carried for years. This new version of me, this confident, strong, clear-minded version It just become my new normal. Felt as natural as breathing. And that's what I want you to understand. You don't have to be a prisoner of your own anxiety forever. You don't have to fake it till you break. Because I know exactly how exhausting it is to pretend that you're okay. To smile through gritted teeth, to joke when your mind is screaming at you. But I promise you, there's another side. There's a side where you actually like yourself. A side where confidence isn't an act, it's who you truly are. And trust me, more than a lot of people, I get it. Right now, it feels impossible. It feels like there's a flipping, you got to climb Mount Everest, but you don't, and it's not. Because if I can find that person inside of me after years of secret panic attacks that only now when people see this video, they'll learn about, and that crippling anxiety that I had, I know you can. And the first step is to stop pretending that you're okay. You don't have to tell your mum, your dad, your friends, but you just have to stop lying to yourself. You have to acknowledge that you deserve better than this. Because you do, man. You deserve a life where your heart don't race at the thought of speaking up. You deserve a life where you're not terrified of being judged or misunderstood. You deserve a life where you're not afraid to go approach someone and spark up a conversation. But you have to choose it. You have to get uncomfortable again and again until discomfort doesn't scare you anymore. You have to put yourself out there even when your legs shake and your voice wobbles. Because every time you do, the fear shrinks. Every conversation gets easier. Every interaction feels a little lighter. Until one day, without realizing it, you're not scared anymore. You're not anxious anymore. You're not faking it anymore. You're free. But you have to move. You have to decide that right now, the pain of staying stuck is far worse than the temporary discomfort of stepping forward. And let's be all the way real. What's the alternative, bro? Staying exactly where you are. Staying hidden, staying anxious, staying afraid, staying invisible. Nah. You were made for more. You know it. The fact that you've watched this video until now tells me everything I need to know. You can feel it. Even when the anxiety tries to drown it out, your life, your purpose, your potential is all waiting for you. They're all waiting just beyond the barrier of fear. But nobody else can walk through it for you. You have to take the step. One step, then another, until you're running like Forrest Gump. Until the person you used to pretend to be becomes the person you actually are. Strong, clear, confident, whole. The version of you that doesn't need a mask. The version of you who walks in a room head high. Because you know who you are. And this ain't a dream. This ain't a distant reality. This is your birthright. That's the real you. Waited patiently beneath all the anxiety, beneath all the doubt, beneath all the lies you've told yourself. So see this video as your invitation. Stop hiding. Stop waiting. Stop pretending. Start moving. Start showing up. Start becoming the person you always knew you could be. Not tomorrow, not next week, but right now. Because trust me, the freedom on the other side of fear is worth every single step. So take that step.